It is now official. Cade Cunningham did not win Rookie of the Year. That award goes to Scottie Barnes of the Toronto Raptors. Was Cade snubbed? We'll talk about that in today's episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast.
You are Locked On Pistons, your daily Detroit Pistons podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's the deal? Welcome back to another episode of the Locked On Pistons podcast. Today's episode is brought to you by BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before. BetOnline, where the game starts. Per usual, I'm your host, Kuka Hill. You can find me over on Twitter at Kuka Hill. I want to thank you guys for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We're free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, or if you're one of the 50% of people who are watching this on YouTube and haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure you guys go ahead to the YouTube channel at Locked On Pistons. Hit that subscribe button. It's the best way to support the podcast. We're on a road to 3,000 subscribers. I'd really appreciate it. So again, Locked On Pistons over at YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. So listen, I think this is going to be the final time we talk about this, obviously, because now it's officially wrapped up. And there's really no need to talk about it now moving forward. But I want to just go ahead and recap this. So it's official now. Cade Cunningham did not win Rookie of the Year. I think a lot of us saw this coming. I don't think many people thought he was going to win it. After, the last week or so of the season, once you started to see where it seemed like voters were going, where, a lot of people were tweeting out their votes already, and none of them were saying K. I think a lot of us knew that wasn't going to happen. I believe there was like a Google Doc or something that got leaked out or something of like all the votes being tallied up. I don't know how that happened, but I'm pretty sure that everyone knew like at least a week ago that Cade wasn't even going to finish second in the Rookie of the Year race. So the first thing I want to answer is, was Cade snubbed? I try to come on the podcast. I try not to be like a homer. I try to be objective. I try to be fair because this rookie class really is great. It has a ton of great players, a ton of guys who are probably going to be all-stars in this league, possibly multiple superstars. Like, it's going to be a great rookie class. So I try not to be like a homer and try to diss these other guys. So I don't want to say that he was just like, that Cade was just wrongfully taken from, but I do think he was the Rookie of the Year. It was really like confusing to me why winning was held against him so badly in this Rookie of the Year race. I last time I know the Donovan Mitchell and Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year one when Ben Simmons missed like his first year and he came back, whatever, and the winning thing kind of held weight there. But outside that, I really don't remember like winning meaning this much in a Rookie of the Year race. And I see that's why I feel like that's the major reason why Scottie Barnes got it and why Cade finished third. Not even second, he finished third. Was because the Pistons just weren't that good. But anyone who watched knew that wasn't because of Cade. Like, I don't, it doesn't make sense to me, that whole thing. So I think he should have won it. I'm going to stay away from saying he was robbed. I'm going to stay away from that because I feel like that kind of like disrespects the other rookies. And I do want, again, the other rookies in this class are really good. They're damn good. And all of them are probably Rookie of the Years in any other draft class. Like Evan Mobley, Scottie Barnes, Cade, they're all probably like Rookie of the Years in other draft classes. But I do think Cade should have won it, but I'm going to stay away from saying robbed. I think he should have won it, though. Another thing I want to talk about, though, with this Rookie of the Year race is that it was just so inconsistent. It didn't make sense to me from the get-go. For about like the entirety of the season, we were told from articles at NBA.com, from other Rookie of the Year rankings at Yahoo, at ESPN, The Athletic, like all these places were telling us that Evan Mobley was going to win this, and he was by far like ahead of everybody. He is a clear winner. All this kind of thing. It had to do with him contributing to the Cavs winning. And he was literally the front runner. Like, people were saying that no one was even close. It was Evan Mobley's to lose, I believe, was one title from NBA.com, all the way until like the last 3 weeks of the season. And then all of a sudden, Scottie Barnes took it from him. So this is like my question for like why this doesn't make any sense to me. If winning matters so much, and we're not going to use such a small sample size, and Evan Mobley was so good for the majority of the season, how does Scottie Barnes take it from him over just 3 weeks? If we can just like cancel out an entire season's worth when someone was just better, and all of a sudden 3 weeks swings in one dude's direction, why can't we take 3 weeks of Cade's first rookie season, like the first like 10 games of his career when he's dealing with the ankle injury? Why can't we just disqualify those ones then? Because when we say something about how, he just struggled his first few games, everyone's like, well, that's part of the season. We can't just eliminate those. Well, what just happened with Evan Mobley? I honestly feel like Evan Mobley got robbed, to be honest. At least, because while I feel like Cade should have won, Evan Mobley was like the favorite for literally the entire season. They said that he was way ahead. And then 3 weeks of the season was enough to just destroy Evan Mobley and get him out of there. It doesn't match what they were saying the whole season. Like, it was literally just inconsistent from the get-go. It didn't make any sense from the get-go. They flip-flopped. I really feel like this was just a narrative award. Whoever, like, or really just whoever this person liked, the person that you were more of a fan of really won. I'm not saying that Scottie Barnes is now a worthy Rookie of the Year guy. He's not great. He's fine. He's good. He's a really damn good player. But literally, it doesn't follow along with the discourse that was happening throughout the entire season. I'm utterly shocked. I don't know how this happened. Again, I wanted Cade to win. I think Cade should have won. I think he was Rookie of the Year. I think he's a better player out of all these guys. But Evan Mobley legit was like the favorite for the whole season. And then out of nowhere, 2 weeks, 3 weeks was enough to just, dump him out and take him to second place. I don't get it. It was the whole Rookie of the Year this year was BS, to be honest. I think it was just pure BS. It didn't make any sense with what they were voting on. The reasoning or the qualifications that we were told earlier in the year obviously didn't matter at the end of the year. It was just a bunch of flip-flopping. It was a bunch of weird stuff, dude. From the get-go, it was just very stupid. I don't get it. It was weighing so much in winning, and then Evan Mobley gets penalized over 2.5 weeks when he was better than Scottie Barnes throughout the entire season. Scottie Barnes apparently gets all the credit for the Toronto Raptors, who have multiple champions from just 3 years ago on the roster. All of a sudden, he gets credit for them making the playoffs, and Evan Mobley just gets bumped to second place. Like, I'm going to stop right there. Yeah, seriously, this doesn't make any sense to me. If I thought someone was going to win Rookie of the Year outside of Cade, I would have said Evan Mobley. I thought it was very clear that Evan Mobley was going to be the other person. Scottie Barnes came out of nowhere after like 3 weeks to all of a sudden surge up rankings. And it's only because the narrative of, look what he's doing for Toronto. He's carrying them to the playoffs, which isn't true. But he was contributing, but he wasn't carrying them. And apparently him doing that for 3 weeks was enough of a narrative to not only beat Cade out, but to beat out the guy we were told for literally 5-6 months was the Rookie of the Year over 3. Like, make it make sense, man. That's why I'm not even really mad about Cade not winning Rookie of the Year, because it obviously didn't make sense. Once I saw what was happening, I was like, all right, this was stupid. This was stupid. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know who they wanted. They just wanted to go with the player they liked at that point in time. It was that's the last time we'll talk about the Rookie of the Year race, because really, again, all three of those guys are great. There's other guys also, Franz, Jalen Green, all these guys, they're great. They're going to be fine players, really damn good players. But as far as how the Rookie of the Year race went this year, baloney. It was just weird from the get-go, and I don't care for it anymore. So congrats to Scottie Barnes. But it was it's just a weird situation that I haven't seen. So anyways, when we come back, Jalen Brunson is a player that seems to be on top of the Pistons free agent list this upcoming offseason. What's he doing in the playoffs? Is it potentially hurting the Pistons, their chances of getting him to come to Detroit this offseason? We'll talk about that when we come back from the break. But first, let me tell you guys a little bit about one of our sponsors, Athletic Greens. This partner has a product I literally use every single day. I started taking AG1 because I didn't have enough time to, take all the supplements, take all these different type of pills. I wanted to have better gut health. I wanted to have more energy, optimize immune system. Honestly, I didn't really like taking so many different pills and vitamins and stuff. I've been on this for a few weeks now, and I absolutely love it. It doesn't taste like it's super healthy. It has kind of a mild tropical taste I actually look forward to having each morning. You guys are probably sitting there asking, what is this stuff? What are you talking about? It's one delicious scoop of AG1, and you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, and whole food source superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help you start your day right. It's a special blend of ingredients supports your gut health, your nervous system, your immune system, your energy, recovery, focus, and aging. It's lifestyle friendly, whether you eat keto, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free. It contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, no nasty chemicals, or artificial anythings, while still tasting really good. Supports better sleep quality and recovery, supports mental clarity and alertness. It's the one thing with the best things. Athletic Greens uses the best of the best products based on the latest science with constant product iteration and third-party testing. It costs you less than $3 a day. You're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than your cold brew habit. It's cheaper than getting all the different supplements yourself. You're investing in an all-in-one nutritional insurance with Athletic Greens. Athletic Greens also has over 7,000 5-star reviews, and it's recommended by professional athletes and trusted by leading health experts such as Tim Ferriss. Right now, it's time to reclaim your health and arm your immune system with convenient daily nutrition. It's just 1 scoop in a cup of water every single day. It's that easy. No need for a million different pills and supplements to look out for your health. To make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you a free 1 year supply of immune supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/NBA network. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NBA network to take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. Again, that is athleticgreens.com/NBA network to take ownership over your health today. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button on the way to 3,000 subscribers, continuing to show Locked On that we're the best and fastest growing fan base at the Locked On Network. I'd really appreciate it. So again, Locked On Pistons over at the YouTube channel. Hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate it. All right, so Jalen Brunson is going crazy for the Dallas Mavericks in the playoffs right now. I don't think it would be a stretch to say that he's been their best player so far in the playoffs. Now, obviously, Luka has been hurt. That's obviously why. But it's very clear that he's been their best player so far with Luka out. And even when Luka was on the floor this last game, I know Luka went crazy, but Jalen Brunson really was part of the when the Mavs would come back and take a lead. Jalen Brunson really was leading it. He's having an exceptional playoffs. And just a quick sidebar, real quick, just to let you guys know. I should have let you guys know earlier in the episode. Tomorrow on the next episode, we are having Sham, my good friend. He's the host of the Two Gods and the Goose podcast. He's going to be a guest on tomorrow's episode. We're going to do a mailbag episode. So make sure if you guys want to be heard on tomorrow's episode, comment on the YouTube underneath this YouTube video in the comment section a question you guys want answered, or tweet me over at Kuka Hill, or you can put it in the reviews down below if you're listening as Apple Podcasts. If you guys want to be heard on tomorrow's episode, make sure you guys go do that because we will be answering all you guys' questions tomorrow. But anyways, back to Jalen Brunson. Through 4 games against the Utah Jazz, Jalen Brunson is averaging 29.8 points a game, 48% from the field, 40% from deep, 41% really from deep on 5.5 attempts. He's shooting 85% from the free throw line. Now, we've talked about Jalen Brunson a bunch on the podcast recently. And from multiple reports that we've heard over the last, really not even just the last few weeks, over the last few months, is that Jalen Brunson is going to be at the top of the Pistons free agent list this offseason. Now, they've been linked to other guys. You know, we've heard a little bit about DeAndre Ayton, even though I've said I don't really believe DeAndre Ayton's leaving Phoenix. And we also just recorded an episode about Colin Sexton. There's going to be obviously some other guys the Pistons are probably rumored to because they have so much cap space and they're going to be aggressive in free agency like Torrey Weaver already told us. But I think everyone understands that Jalen Brunson's at the top of this list. And it's not just what he's doing in the playoffs that is going to give him a nice payday in the offseason. It's what he did during the season. I'll just read you guys his synergy chart again from this past season. As a pick and roll ball handler, he ranked in the 91st percentile. As a spot up shooter, he ranked in the 82nd percentile. In isolation, he ranked in the 65th percentile. Handoff, 80th percentile. Post up as a small guard, 84th percentile. Off screens, 73rd percentile. This dude was just extremely good. All jump shots, 68th percentile. All runners, 93rd percentile. Around the basket, 60th percentile. Catch and shoot, 80th percentile. All jump shots off dribbles, 76th percentile. This dude is an offensive force. At least he was this past season. Now, I know there's some of you guys, and it's reasonable. I'm not going to say and just poo-poo and act like it's not anything to be concerned about, at least a little bit. I know that he's in a rookie contract. He's in a contract year, and we've seen it many times where a guy will just absolutely go bonkers in a contract year to get paid, and then he kind of gets overpaid that offseason, then he never lives up to that contract, and now he's looked at as a negative asset because of it. So I understand some of you guys having concerns about that. But this past season, he was absolutely an offensive force at every level of the field, all 3 levels. It was honestly, it's been a joy to watch him in the playoffs. But he's even taken it up another notch in the playoffs. And that actually could hurt the Pistons. Because coming into the playoffs, I believe the rumored market that they were saying that he may get paid at was around like $25 million, I believe was what was being rumored around for him this coming off season. We all know this. Anyone who's watched the NBA for a while, anyone who's, watched the NBA just the last few years, when a guy is in a contract year, he can have a good season. He can have a great season, all that kind of stuff. But when they go to the playoffs, and if they have just like a mesmerizing playoffs, they go crazy in the playoffs, that contract that they were looking for, all of a sudden that goes through the roof. You do something in the playoffs, you ball out in the playoffs, dudes immediately get paydays off of that kind of stuff. Like, who was it? Like, Was it Tristan Thompson that like went crazy or did really well for the Cavs in the playoffs that one year and then ended up getting paid that insane contract the following year? Now, obviously, that had a little bit to do with LeBron and him being his friend and clutch and all that kind of stuff. But that's not just the only one. That's just the most recent one I can come up with. But we've seen guys get paid off of just strictly playoff performances. Now, Jalen Brunson had a great season, and now he's doing even better, insane type of stuff in the playoffs against the Utah Jazz. Now, is every GM are his agents going to look at it like I'm going to look at it and say, well, he's probably being helped by the fact that the Utah Jazz's perimeter defense is poo-poo trash, and it's exposing the Utah Jazz is really the perimeter defense. It's more about them than it is Jalen Brunson. Probably not. That's probably not going to happen. They're going to use this playoff performance, what he's done in this first round, and probably what he will continue to do in the second round, especially if he continues it into the second round, third round. Let's just say the Mavs make a deep playoff run. He continues to play this way. That dude is $25 million ain't going to be enough. You're going to have to pay him like over $30 million. So now you're asking, should the Pistons pay over $30 million to get Jalen Brunson? I'm telling you this. I will make a bet right now. There may be some of you guys who disagree. I'm telling you right now, I believe with everything in me, if this dude continues to play like this the rest of the playoffs and the Mavs go like to the conference finals and he continues to play lights out like this dude will not be getting paid under $30 million. He will get paid $30 million a year contract. How long it is, I don't know. Maybe it's a 3-year, $90 million contract. Who knows? But he will not be getting paid just $25 million. I can promise you that much if this continues to happen. So is he out the Pistons price range at that point? I would say so. I would hope so. That would be my guess. I would hope so because I don't think Jalen Brunson to the Detroit Pistons would be worth over $30 million. Now, if the Dallas Mavericks want to pay him over $30 million because they view him as a key piece for the Mavericks, and the Mavericks are already like one of the contenders in going to the finals potentially. People think they could potentially win the championship. He probably is worth that to them because he's fitting so perfectly in that scheme with Luka, and they're already championship level team. For the Pistons, I don't know, man. Over $30 million a year for a player like Jalen Brunson at the point where the Pistons are at, I just don't know. I don't. If the Pistons are going to pay a dude over $30 million, you need to be a star. Like I think you need to be an all-star. Now Jalen Brunson's been balling out, but he wasn't even an all-star. And I don't want to come off as like a what's the word? Like a national media guy who's like, oh, he wasn't even an all-star. You can't be that good. No, I know he's that good. But when you start talking about over $30 million, dude, like for the Pistons, you don't want to cap, hamstring yourself with the cap already with the dude getting paid $30 million. Even if Jalen Brunson turns out to be he already is a good player. Let's just say he remains this level of player next season. He's shooting, what is it, like 49% from the field, 38% from deep, and is averaging 16 points a game. And the Pistons are paying him $31 million. I just don't think he's matching up to that contract. He'd have to raise his performance even more to be worthy of that $30 million contract. So I think he's slowly but surely outplaying the potential Detroit Pistons signing. I don't think the Pistons should pay him over $30 million. I think that's where he's trending right now, or at least close to $30 million. Like 25, I think is off the table. He might be getting like $28 to $32 million if he continues to go off like this in the playoffs. And I think if that's the case, I think he's out. I think he's going to be out the Pistons price range, which I don't think is a bad thing. I think it's okay if the Pistons now we've been told that the Pistons are going to be aggressive this offseason. I expect that they will. And Troy Weaver has obviously came out in the public and said they're going to be aggressive. He said that they're going to use trades, free agency, draft, all kinds of stuff. We know what their plan is this offseason. They want to try to start winning next year. However, I don't see a problem with just like getting minor signings again this year, like maybe replacing the Frank Jackson, the Hamidou Diallo with another type of version of those guys, seeing if those guys hit. Maybe getting like a better starting center. Just minor signings that don't destroy your cap, and then swing again next year when there's better free agents, or 2 years from now when there's better free agents. Like just because you have money this offseason, don't do something stupid. Don't pay too much for a guy. And again, Jalen Brunson is not going to be Josh Smith if you overpay him. He's a good player. He's going to remain a good player. But that doesn't mean you should overpay that heavily for him. Like if you're going to we've said this over and over on the podcast with the Detroit Pistons, and then we're going to end it off right here. I've said that if the Pistons want to get a guy in free agency, they are going to have to overpay for him. So when you do overpay for the guy that you want in free agency, you better make sure he was the right one to overpay. If you're going to pay a dude $37 million, you better make sure he was the right one. Because the Pistons aren't going to be just some free agent destination. You can just get all kinds of free agents. You're going to have to overpay for a dude that you want. It's just about whether that's the right one that you overpaid on. So if the Pistons really do feel like Jalen Brunson is the dude, then I guess they go ahead and they won't have a problem with paying him that much. But if he continues to play like this and he ends up raising his price range to around $30 million, I think the Pistons have to say peace out, let him go wherever he wants, whether it's back to Dallas or somewhere else. But I don't think it should be Detroit at that price tag. I really don't. I'm against that. So let me know what you guys think down below. Do you guys think that's too much for Jalen Brunson? Would you be cool with bringing him in even at $30 million? Again, let me know down below, or you can let me know over on Twitter at Kukio. When we come back, I actually want to give some props to a dude that I thought played really well for the Detroit Pistons this past season and actually served a better role on the team that we expected, to be honest. And I kind of want to give him credit because we haven't talked about him at all. And actually, he was a butt of the joke for the majority of the season, but really, he was a nice addition and he did some good things for this young team. So we're going to give him some props when we come back. Stay tuned to find out who I'm talking about. But first, let me tell you a little bit about one of our sponsors, you guys' favorite sponsor, Built Bar. This is the time of year that I've pretty much given up on all my New Year's resolutions, but not this year. I'm sticking to my resolution to eat right, and it's thanks to Built Bar. It almost feels like it's not even really a resolution because I actually enjoy eating them. Have you tried the Puff Bar? If you haven't, you're missing on one of Built Bar's best tasting protein bars. Puffs are the first ever protein-infused marshmallow. They're fluffy, they're marshmallowy, they're not just a protein bar, they're an absolute treat. And they're covered in 100% real chocolate. But it's not just the Puff bars, it's all Built Bars that are covered in 100% real chocolate. And while having 100% real chocolate, they're still low calorie and high protein. So go ahead and replace your candy bar with these. They taste better and they're better for you. A typical candy bar could be anywhere to 200 to 300 calories, 30 grams of sugar, and dozens of net carbs. Go to Built.com and scroll down to the macro chart. You'll be absolutely blown away. High protein, low calories. High fiber, low carbs. And while being healthy and being 100% real chocolate, they have all kinds of flavors that make it even more delicious. Mint brownie, coconut almond. New flavor this month, white chocolate cookies and cream. You guys know my favorite is a peanut butter flavor. They got cherry barcia, raspberry, strawberry, blueberry, all kinds of flavors you can think of. And if you're constantly checking out Built.com, you'll be seeing the limited time flavors they come out with feels like every other week. At Built Bar, they're all about the taste. They make it delicious first, then figure out how to make it healthy. I don't know how, but they pull it off every single time. So go to Built.com and use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Again, use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at Built.com. Built Bar, the best tasting protein bar ever. So I want to thank you guys again for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. We are free and available on all your podcast platforms. If you haven't already, head to our YouTube channel. You guys get that, all that jazz. We tell you all the time. Hit that subscribe button at the Locked On Pistons YouTube channel. I'd really appreciate it. On the way to 3,000 subscribers, yada, yada, yada. Man, so if you live in Michigan right now, you will know that I'm recording this on Sunday, and you guys will know that we had a nice day outside today. A really hot day, according to Michigan people. Now it's like 81 degrees. I know that's probably not hot where, in Florida or these other people, if you guys are listening, you guys are in a hotter place. But in Michigan, this is really hot. And if you guys remember last year, when we hit around this time, we had some problems where it was just so hot in my room, dude. And my AC wasn't working correctly. We're having the same issue early this summer, man. I'm in here just burning up, dude. Like, whew, my God. But anyways, enough of that. I just had to update you guys. We can let you guys know you guys need to pray for me because it's burning up in here. Had to take a sip of water real quick. All right, so I want to give credit to this player. It's probably a player you guys did not think that we would ever talk about in the podcast again. But I want to give credit to Rodney McGruder for real. Rodney McGruder, yes. Not Cade Cunningham, not Killian Hayes, not Sadiq Bey, not Isaiah Stewart, not Jeremy Grant, not all these guys. Rodney McGruder. And the reason I want to give credit to Rodney McGruder, because this dude was literally traded for Bobo, was over in Denver, was already practicing with them, and then was told, yeah, that trade's not going through. We got to send you back to Detroit. I'm telling you right now, if that was me, I'm raising hell when I get back to Detroit. I'm not being a professional. You guys can call me whatever you want. But that's an awkward situation. You didn't want me. You wanted me out of here. You traded me. I don't want to come back. Trade me again. Find a different place to trade me to then. But he wasn't like that. He came back, was an ultimate professional, was a great veteran for the team, didn't cause no issues, and was just as supportive over there on the bench as he was all season. But enough with that. He actually played pretty well for the Pistons on the floor. Like, there was a point in the season why I came on the podcast and said, if Rodney McGruder is going to continue to shoot like this, you have to play him. Because the Pistons lacked spacing. They desperately needed shooting, and they desperately needed some out and some spacing for Cade, Killian, Sadiq, especially when you have Isaiah Stewart on the floor. He's not really providing, rim pressure or outside shooting for the majority of the season. you need as much spacing as possible. And there was a stretch for a minute during the regular season where Ronnie McGruder was damn near the best shooter on the Pistons. Like for this season, he shot 39, damn near 40% from three on 3 attempts a game. He was pretty good for the Pistons this year, man. And it's always good to have veterans on your team when you're a young team. Every team needs veterans. I believe Troy Weaver came out like during his press conference, his exit interview, and said, you can't just have a roster full of 19, 20, 21-year-olds. You have to have veterans on the field, on the court, wherever sport you're playing. And he's 100% correct. But I said on the podcast, I believe last summer when we were talking about what veterans should the Pistons bring in, whether they should resign Ronnie McGruder, I said that, yeah, you want to have veterans on your team, but you also would like to have veterans who can play on your team. Like, it's a difference from having just a veteran who just constantly talks to you and tries to tell you what to do, and he can't play and he's not good. Like, they're probably not going to listen to him as much. But when a veteran can actually play and go out there and give you something, and then also talk nonstop on the bench and be a leader and all that kind of stuff, it means more. It just affects the team more. You tend to listen to that guy kind of more. And I said kind of more. You tend to listen to him more. And Ronnie McGruder this season played. He balled out for the Pistons in his role. Yes, balled out in his role. He was a great veteran. The team, there was multiple young guys who came out multiple times and said how much they love having him on the team. They're happy that he came back from the trade. They didn't want to see him go. And then he continued to play well for the Pistons on the floor. So I just wanted to give Ronnie McGruder, yes, this is like what do people call it? Like the B block or the C block of the podcast. It's not like he's going to be headlining the podcast or anything. But, this is going to be basically his season review. I know I told you guys we're going to do a season review of every player. We did Cade's last week. This would basically be Ronnie McGruder's season review. It's just one segment, just to give him props. He came in, dealt with that untrade that happened, was a professional about it, was a great veteran for this team, shot really well from the floor for the Pistons, played really well when they needed him to, and was just a great example of the type of veterans you need on a basketball team with guys this young. Not just a guy who's going to be loud and emotional in the locker room, but can't play on the floor and can't really do nothing himself. A guy who can be that loud, emotional guy and lead you by example on the floor, on the bench, in practice, all that kind of stuff. But then also when his number gets called, can go out there and show you, hey, I don't just talk this. I can actually walk this. I can play. I can do what we're supposed to do out here. Watch how I play. This is how you need to be playing. Play hard, shoot well, like all this kind of stuff. I just want to give Ronnie McGruder some credit, man, because he was the butt of the joke for a long time during the season, even last year. But he balled out in his role this year. You got to give him a ton of credit. So thank you, Ronnie McGruder, for your contributions. You did a really good job, and I wouldn't be mad about him coming back next year as a veteran again. He was a really good veteran for this team. Probably won't play as much next year because the team is probably going to be trying to win more. But he already showed this past season that, hey, I don't just talk. I can actually play. So that's the kind of respect you need to earn from young guys for them to really listen to you. I feel like he's earned that. So I'd be okay with him coming back next year. Just wanted to give credit to the man, Ronnie McGruder. So thank you guys for listening to today's episode. Thank you for making Locked On Pistons your first listen of every single day. Let me know if you guys were also pleasantly surprised by how Ronnie McGruder played today in the comment section down below or over on Twitter at @KukaHill. Make sure you guys are making Locked On NBA your second listen of every day. From the first jump ball of the play-in tournament to the last possession of the finals, Locked On experts taking you deep inside the playoffs with inside analysis affecting all 30 teams. And until the next episode, you guys will see Sham, host of the Two Gods and the Goose podcast, will be answering all your guys' questions on tomorrow's episode. Make sure you guys are sending in questions if you want to be heard, either in the comment section down below at the YouTube channel or tweet me at KukaHill, and you will be heard tomorrow on Tuesday's episode. NBA playoffs, I hope you guys are enjoying these. The NBA playoffs are getting crazy out there. I just got finished watching the Denver Nuggets getting a win and extending that game to 5. We have a bunch of injuries happening that could be potentially changing how the playoffs are looked at. The Boston Celtics may be sweeping the Brooklyn Nets. This first round has been amazing. So I hope you guys are enjoying watching all these games. I'm about to go watch this final game of the day. I don't know which game it is, but I'm about to go watch this game. So you guys have a great day. Hope you guys enjoyed your weekend. I'll see you guys in the next one. Until next time, peace out, everybody, and stay safe.